Hey, what is up people? This is Johnny and today we're going to be doing the top 5 Generation 2 Pokemon that deserve a Mega Evolution. Number 5, Kingdra. Now believe it or not, this Pokemon is a Generation 2 Pokemon. It is a Water type and a Dragon type Pokemon with the weaknesses of Dragon and Fairy. Its Pokédex entry states, Kingdra lives at extreme ocean depths that are otherwise uninhabited. It has long been believed that the yawning of this Pokemon creates spiraling ocean currents. Now this Pokemon is the category Dragon Pokemon with the abilities of Swift Swim and Sniper. Now its base stats are pretty decent. They don't look that bad. They're pretty good. Depending on how you build this Pokemon, you could actually do some pretty good damage against your opponent. And I think it's a pretty awesome Pokemon because it only has 2 weaknesses. And, you know, that's only 2 weaknesses. This will not keep this Pokemon from failing pretty fast. Number 4, Blissey. Blissey is a normal type Pokemon with the weaknesses of fighting. The Pokédex entry states, Blissey sends sadness with its fluffy coat of fur. If it does so, this Pokemon will rush over to sad person no matter how far away to share a lucky egg that brings a smile to any face. It is the category Happiness Pokemon with the abilities of Natural Cure and Serene Grace. Now if you look at the base stats, this Pokemon's highest is actually HP. And why do I like this Pokemon? Well, with the highest of HPs, this Pokemon can be a really good stall Pokemon in battles. I know it's not the best one for attacks, but it can definitely stall your opponent if that's your intention of stalling an opponent. And it has a decent amount of attack, but its defense is really low. So if you know how to use this Pokemon in a good way, you could actually do pretty good. Now I like it because it's one of my favorite Pokemons as well. Number 3, Skarmory. It is a flying type and steel Pokemon with the weaknesses of electric and fire. Its Pokédex entry states, Skarmory entirely encased in hard protective armor. This Pokemon flies at a close to 190 miles per hour. It slashes foes with its wings that possesses sword-like cutting edges. The category is Armor Bird with its abilities of Keen Eye and Sturdy. Now I like this Pokemon because it's been around for a while now and it's a pretty strong Pokemon if you know how to use it competitively. And only with the 2 weaknesses, electric and fire, this Pokemon can do some pretty good damage depending on how you actually use it. So I think it deserves a Mega Evolution. Number 2, Lantern. It is a water type and electric type Pokemon with the weaknesses of grass and ground. Its Pokédex entry states, Lantern is nicknamed the Deep Sea Star for its illuminated antenna. This Pokemon produces light by causing a chemical reaction between bacteria and its bodily fluids inside the antenna. The category is the Light Pokemon. Abilities Illuminate and Volt Absorb. Now if you look at the stats, they might not seem the best for the base stats, but I can assure you, if you know how to use this Pokemon, you're actually going to have a wonderful time in the battle. If you increase it into a Mega Evolution, this Pokemon will look freaking amazing as well. It's also pretty cool as well, so I like this Pokemon. It's one of my favorites, and I think it deserves a Mega Evolution. Number 1, Osmorol. This Pokemon is a water type and fairy type Pokemon with the weaknesses of grass, electric, and poison. Its Pokédex entry states, Osmorol's long ears are indispensable sensors. By focusing its hearing, this Pokemon can identify what kinds of prey are around, even in the rough and fast-running rivers. Its category is Aqua Rabbit. Its abilities are thick, fat, and huge power. Now, why did I choose this Pokemon? It has some pretty good base stats. Well, really low actually, but if you have like Belly Drum on this Pokemon or some certain moves, this Pokemon can be really effective against your opponents. It's probably one of the strongest Pokemon in my opinion for a competitive use because many people actually use Osmorol to this day as a competitive Pokemon against other trainers. And I think this Pokemon definitely deserves a Mega Evolution. It would even make it more stronger actually. It might even make it overpowered to be honest. But I think this Pokemon is pretty awesome. And I think that's why it deserves number 1. Thanks for watching this top 5 of the Johto region Pokemon. Let me know in the comment section what are your top 5. Also, if you haven't checked out some of my previous videos, make sure to click on those 2 boxes in the middle to go watch.